There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. I know a place, do you wanna follow?
We're in New York City, a city that is rich in multicultural history and style. Its high-low beauty sensibilities are incomparable. Where else can you get your eyebrows threaded with authentic Indian technique, your hair braided by the Senegalese women who perfected the style, or a knockout Dominican blowout when you want to feel silky smooth? From hair to makeup and styling, these artists are influenced by the freedom, bustle, and unapologetic attitude of the Big Apple. And no matter which borough you're in, you can expect a unique taste of style and glam. New York City is the place to be free in your glam and to be seen while doing it, which is why New York is the perfect backdrop for the Black and Harlem-founded Shea Moisture to make its mark. Today, we're exploring how this diverse city has influenced some of the modern greats, from celebrity hairstylist Lacy Redway to Cosmopolitan magazine beauty editor Julee Wilson. And later, we're chatting with styling guru Scott Louie. So strap on your walking shoes, put on a bold lip, and get ready to dive into the glam culture of New York City. This morning, we're heading uptown to stylish and sophisticated Manhattan to get glam before heading to our Shea Moisture event at the Dominic Hotel. Manhattan is the fashion capital of the U.S. and home to New York Fashion Week, one of the iconic Big Four fashion weeks held every year. And that makes sense. It is home to glam industry giants with over 900 fashion and beauty company HQs located here. Since I'm showcasing New York glam, I've invited Danielle Henry, New York-based makeup artist, to help me get glam for today's event. Danielle has been doing makeup professionally for over 10 years and has styled the likes of actresses Aisha Hines and Cara Patterson, Envision Fest founder Sharifa Murdoch, and even Harlem's very own Mace. Danielle specializes in looks that are clean and timeless.
Like, I can do all the things, but like classic, staple, pretty, soft makeup, that's kind of
Your thing.
That's my thing. Glam for me is about self-esteem. It's about making people feel really confident, really good about themselves. Someone can get up from my chair feeling better than when they sat down. And I was like, oh. You know, the culture of New York is like, you can be what you want to be. You can look how you want to look. Like, you know, in some places it's like, what's on trend. In New York, it's like, whatever you want. You know, however you want to look. It's such a melting pot. There's so many people from so many places. If ever there was a place to just be yourself and just do whatever you want, New York is that place.
When I was inspired to make Black Beauty Effect, I was living in Brooklyn and I felt all the time like I got to see so much diversity just in Black women. What was a moment in your career as a makeup artist that you were like incredibly proud of?
Working on Missy Elliott's music videos, that was huge for me. And I finally felt like, oh, I belong in this room. I feel like working with Aisha Hines is like top tier. Like her flying me out to do her wedding. It's always great to go international because you paint faces. Like, what? You want to fly me where? Because I do makeup?
I think you've said something like that I absolutely think is kind of like the motto of New Yorkers. It's like you could do whatever you want. And it's the kind of place that encourages you to have that confidence in yourself.
Absolutely. You can come to New York and you can absolutely be yourself here. The people are kinder than you see on TV. If you have good work, you can be successful. So work on your craft, work on your artistry, because if you can paint a face, you can get work.
New York, the trend is please be an individual.
Right, just do you, boo.
Now that my look is complete, it's time to enjoy this lovely Shea Moisture brunch. They've brought together some of the brightest names in beauty, editors, influencers, and women who are serious about their glam to enjoy a morning with stylist Lacy Redway and try out some new products with New York City as our backdrop.
I love it. And I never
invited cosmopolitan beauty editor Julee Wilson, who resides in Harlem, to sit down with me at the event. She is a champion of all things Black beauty, with Harlem and all of Manhattan as her own personal beauty playground. I have admired you for so long, and I think not only like in credit that you have these amazing titles under your belt, but also like you are somebody when I think of really like owning your fashion, owning who you are. I think of all these hashtags that you use, womb fire. I'm like, Julee knows exactly who she is.
For me, glam is just showing up as like your most authentic self, whatever that is that day. There are some days where I want to give you a full beat, a full bust down hair situation, whatever it is. And then there's some days that I just want a slick back ponytail or pineapple on top of my head and like not have any makeup on. And that's still glam, right? I think it's about how you present yourself to the world.
Yeah.
And then it's also self-care. Like, it's getting a massage, it's getting your nails done, it's leaning into all of the things that make you feel good.
Yes.
But then also feel beautiful.
Yes.
I mean, I love getting a compliment, don't we all? But at the end of the day, if I look in the mirror and I'm like, wow, you're fly, we won.
How would you describe the culture, New York City culture of glam?
I mean, it's fabulous. It's New York. I've traveled the world. I've seen a lot of places. I love Paris, don't get me wrong, and London, and, you know, Beijing and Shanghai and Dubai. I've been to all these places, but like nothing is like New York. I grew up watching like Sex and the City, probably when I shouldn't have been. But like that idea of coming to New York, telling stories, like this is the only place that I could have like really imagined being. Everyone's very free.
Yes.
Everyone's free to express themselves in any way they want to.
How has, I guess, even living in Harlem and just New York in general, how have you seen that shift in your own personal style and just like how it's inspired how you kind of show up every single day?
Again, I think it's the freedom. I mean, if you would look at Julee 20 years ago, I had like the straight like silk press all the time. Don't get me wrong, I will rock a silk press. You know, like I'll rock these twists, I'll rock, you know, knotless braids, I'll give you my afro, all of the things, right? Bantu knots. But I was very just like trying to assimilate. I mean, Harlem's a whole situation in itself.
Harlem is a neighborhood in Upper Manhattan that pulsates with African-American heritage and flair. It was the birthplace of the Harlem Renaissance, the Black is Beautiful movement, and of course, Shea Moisture.
I mean, just the vibes, the flavor, the blackness. Like, I just love it. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of gentrification happening everywhere, but there's still this heartbeat, this vibe in Harlem that you like can't get anywhere else. I live on the same block as Dapper Dan, and this man like dresses to the nines on a regular to go walk and get coffee. I think as I like grew up in this city, I just was like, wow, I can be so many things and I don't have to look one certain way. So like, I think it liberated me in a way that in my beauty, that is like really cool and I still celebrate.
Yes, into understanding your beauty and understanding like that the beauty looks like this and it transforms and it does all these things, and I do it because, as you said, it makes me feel really good.
Yeah, I also get my hair done every other week by my hairstylist, Anthony Dickey.
And he's the best.
And he's like
great. Going to a therapist.
He's a friend, he's a brother.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I'll do stuff like this too. This is Navasha.
Yeah.
You know, Lacy. Love when she touches my head. It's really nice to have a glam fam.
Yeah.
I mean, Lacy is really an artist. She really is. Like, you know, she just doesn't do hair. She like creates it. I mean, her receipts are long and strong. It's just like a city that's constantly moving and changing. And even with the museums and stuff, the exhibits change. You go to a Broadway show and that like inspires you. So I think that you can't not look at Lacy's work and not know that New York is like pulsing through it.
Absolutely.
What shines through to me is that she's just an incredible person who also happens to be one of the most iconic hairstylists around.
Lacy Redway is an icon and one of my favorite stylists. You've seen her work everywhere, from runways to magazine covers, and she styled all of your faves. SZA, Julia Fox, Zazie Bates, Lucy Hale, Tyla, and so many more. She's also a Shea Moisture educator and ambassador. We got to spend the day being styled by her in the Shea Moisture Glam Suite and sitting down with her to discuss her career and her journey through the New York fashion and beauty scene. If anyone embodies the glam culture of New York, it's her. Let's talk about the Glam Suite.
Anytime I can get together with a group of Black women and we're having a good time,
When you with Shea.
When you with Shea, it's always a good time. It's better than it looks like on the internet.
Yes, and it looks good on the internet.
Yes, it's usually a reunion too.
Yes.
You know, like Essence Fest. It's a place that Black women come to reunite.
What is the Shea Moisture product that you find yourself grabbing for the most?
Oh, it has to be the coconut hibiscus mousse. I have this in my hair right now. The coconut hibiscus line.
When you first started, was the goal to be an educator? So often within our community, we can constantly be learning about the different types of textured hair, the right products for your hair type.
For your hair type.
And learning that.
There's so many different types of beauty creatives that exist now. You know, there are influencers. There's so many different types of people that do services on themselves. I think you still need someone that sits in an expert seat that can really educate the consumers on how to use the products. Showing other stylists too how to use the products on their clients.
Yes.
You know, it's really important.
You just know, you're just like, oh, quick, easy. I'm gonna work my magic right now. You're more than a pro.
Thank you, thank you.
You're
you know, a lot of that comes from my experience working in this industry. I've had to be the only for a long time.
The most fascinating part of your career is that it really is a variety. It really is like you're creating art with hair. No matter the texture, from celebrity to celebrity, you kind of get to see that.
Yeah.
And so kind of walk me back then to the beginning. How did this start for you? Which probably will end up being a very long answer, but I'm so curious because oftentimes, you know, we don't get to see people that look like us in these kinds of positions.
Exactly.
And having the kind of success that you have had and continue to have. If I wanted to be like Lacy Redway, how can I become Lacy Redway?
Yeah, my story is very similar to a lot of Black women and a lot of Black girls that do hair. You know, I grew up as the girl in school doing everybody's hair. Basketball culture was really big. So like Allen Iverson was like a huge inspiration for a lot of people that came to me for braids.
Okay.
You know, Brandy from Moesha, you know, there was Poetic Justice. So I was the braider before I transitioned to become an editorial and like a world-renowned hairstylist that you know me of today. I was like an entrepreneur before I even knew what that word really meant. I was charging like $10 for braid styles, you know?
Wow, please bring those prices back.
No, seriously. I started off just braiding hair throughout school, like high school, also helped me pay for college. And then I started working at a hair salon and I assisted the salon owner on photo shoots. And that's how I kind of got my sort of like aha moment of like, you know, working in this industry. I was able to see a part of the hair culture that I was never exposed to before. Now I'm aging myself on your documentary.
No, listen. And so then from there, what led you to your break? Like the moment that was like, okay, I'm here now. I'm really seeing these doors opening.
Yeah. I mean, you know, that question is such an interesting question for me, your break, because I always feel like as an artist, you know, and also as a Virgo, like I'm constantly like leveling up, you know? So it's like there's always a moment that takes you to the next level. But I would say the moment where I fully like understood that, wow, people really like what you're doing was starting to work backstage at New York Fashion Week.
Okay.
You know, working backstage as a hair assistant, there weren't a ton of Black hairstylists there, period.
Yeah.
To service the models. So I grew a following with the models backstage because they liked what I was doing. And I came there to braid. And I didn't realize that what I was doing or my technique or my speed was any different. But I kind of grew a crowd around me by the other hairstylists. And that was kind of my like eye-opening moment. I was like, wow,
because they
you
thought
have
you were
something
going so fast in comparison.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So that's when I realized that I had something to offer in this industry.
When did you almost get the opportunity to expand on that? Yes, obviously you can braid, you're an amazing hairstylist, but I don't think of Lacy and braids. Like I think of you with art. I think of you with design. I just think of you with styling in general.
Yes.
And so seeing that, which is amazing to hear, like that's the opening. That was what got me into the space that I needed to be in.
Yes.
But now it was like, all right, how did they know that like Lacy's an artist? Lacy can really do this.
Just like many other Black women in so many different spaces, workspaces, I constantly have to prove myself. So you have to show people what they don't see.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can easily be boxed into how people want to see you because it's easy for them to compartmentalize what you're good at.
Yes.
So I had to continue growing my portfolio and showcasing other styles that I also am good at to show people that, hey, I know you know I can braid, but also when you're hiring for this other type of service, think of me.
It's fascinating to hear that that was also part of your story and still is a part of your story.
Yeah. Also, a part of my journey is, I'm a mom. So I started to want to get to a space where I was like, I need to work smarter, not harder. I started meeting the celebrities on shoots. That's how I sort of transitioned into, working with them.
Let's talk about your work with Tiana Taylor.
She is an amazing collaborator because she's such an artist herself. We bring our ideas together and it just becomes magic.
Yeah.
Like we did this amazing Basquiat-inspired look on the red carpet, which is not traditionally what we see on the red carpet. So I love also being a part of conversation with the girls that I work with because they are fearless.
Yeah.
So they want to shift the needle, do looks that you wouldn't traditionally see, show people that there's beauty in all things. And it's in the eye of the beholder.
Tyler, too.
Tyler. I mean, Met Gala look, that stole the Met Gala.
That stole the Met Gala.
And that theme was about different elements. She had this amazing, incredible sand dress that you will never forget. And her breakout hit was water, so I wanted to incorporate that, but also be a part of the elements of the story we were telling. And, and what I get to do with the side of the business that I work is we're storytellers.
Yes.
And part of telling the story is also doing it with the hairstyles that we do. It's fantasy as well.
Yeah.
People will reserve your time a year out.
I'm sure.
Before they even know if they're invited to the Met Gala. They're like, oh no, but I need to make sure I have my glam.
The glam is the most important part.
Yes.
So I would be booking you 2 years in advance as well, if I really knew. I would say the Met Gala is like the Super Bowl of glam.
It is the Super Bowl of glam.
Yeah.
That is the event that I look forward to the most out of all red carpet moments throughout the year. There's so much preparation that goes into it that people don't realize.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're doing hair tests. We're often doing hair tests to know how the hairstyle will live on. There's so much prep work. One year I gave Tessa Thompson like a 6-foot like latex braid whip.
Wow.
And that required days in advance. I always feel like I'm on a top model challenge. She's like, what can you do in this amount of time? Go. So one year, I also created a braided cowboy hat. Girl, I was still making that hat right before she stepped out to the Met Gala carpet. I'm still refining and perfecting the hat.
That's what you need a frizz-free mousse for. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly that, because that's exactly what I was doing in the car ride right until she stepped out on the red carpet. It was a labor of love from me and my team. But the end result is always magical. So, you're always so excited when you see it and when they step out.
I love that.
Tessa Thompson and I have had really amazing moments at the Met Gala, but just in red carpet in general.
I can think of a specific look where it's like, you guys have the finger waves. It's like, her hair almost feels like it's wet.
Oh,
yes.
With the kiss curls?
Yeah. So tell me, how do you guys collaborate on looks like that?
Part of the creative process for me, I like to know all the things. And I don't know if it's the Virgo in me where I got to know all the steps. So the collaboration is, speaking with a stylist, learning what the silhouette of the dress looks like, because I don't believe in creating a hairstyle before I know what's going on with the look, because then it feels like everybody's doing their own thing and nobody's really working as a team. And a huge part of, working within this space is, collaboration.
I think people don't realize that's what makes it glam.
That's what makes it glam. Exactly.
Yeah, glam is a team.
Ooh, I like that.
Together.
Cohesiveness.
Yeah.
Yes. Glam is cohesive. Yes. Working together.
That look specifically,
yes.
Is it inspired by Harlem Renaissance? Is it something that's more like, this is Tessa's work and this is what she's inspired by?
Yeah, I mean, we're always inspired by those that have come before us, that have done it before us. So, there's always gonna be a little twist and a little, something new and fresh that we add to it. But, I'm constantly referencing, I'm constantly looking at Black culture and the things that women have worn in the past to just rebirth it. That's part of our process. We collaborate. We're on text thread. We're sending each other references. It's an open space, and I think that's the way that you're able to do your best work is through, you know, having space to try new things.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, the ideas might not end up exactly how you might have envisioned it, but having the room to know that we are a team and we're in this together. It's always a hit, though. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Like, it's always a hit.
You're good.
But, you know, just having that room and the trust is a huge part of this for me, you know, with clients, being able to have that vulnerability from them to say, you know what, I trust you, do your thing, you know, bring what you bring to the table and help, you know, create this magic.
Absolutely. Because glam is a vulnerable space.
Yes.
Like, people don't realize that. Putting your look into somebody else's hands can be very intimidating, can be very scary, depending on your hair story, on how sensitive your hair is to you. It does require trust.
Yes.
And so I can see why your overall spirit would naturally attract the clientele that
Thank
you
you.
have.
Thank you.
Because you always make me feel very safe, very just like in protective hands.
I mean, it is a vulnerable thing, you know, when you think about how intimately we're touching you, you know, when I could meet someone for 2 hours and I'm touching you for 2 hours and sometimes your partner doesn't even touch you that long. Right? So and you know, and we're seeing parts of people, their persona that, you know, when they step outside to be the artist version of themselves that people don't get to see.
Let's talk a little bit about kind of your journey in New York. You hustled, you got your real break at New York Fashion Week. So New York has been a big part of your journey.
New York will always be the mecca for me of my journey. Even if I move away from New York, I will always come back here. It will always hold a special part of my life, you know, and New York Fashion Week particularly, you know, and now I get to be a lead stylist at New York Fashion Week, you know, and I get to work on so many editorials, you know, so many Vogue covers and Harper's Bazaar, Elle, etc. You know, I think as artists, sometimes it's hard to, you know, sort of like step into your like, I'm her.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm her. Yeah. How would you describe the glam culture of New York?
I feel like this is where people come that recognize that there's something special about them that maybe in their hometown might not be celebrated. So they bring something special here, and we're so diverse. We have so many different types of people here that the glam culture is ever evolving, and it's really beautiful. When I hear the word glam, I mean, you know, glam folks, we're like therapists, we're doctors, we're besties.
I have to just give you your flowers, Lacy. I think you are not only an incredible person, an incredible artist. I love seeing your journey. I am so grateful for the work that I get to do with Shea that brought me to you, because I've grown so truly in love with meeting and getting to know you as a woman and seeing your artistry grow. Like, just reeling off some of these credits, I'm like, I can't even believe we're sitting here talking.
Thank you.
Likewise,
I love anytime that the universe brings us together. You're always like sunshine, you know?
Thank you.
Also celebrating you through the work that you're doing. And thank you for telling our stories.
I love these stories.
Yeah.
I love these stories. I'm like, a braided cowboy hat? I'm gonna be thinking about that for weeks. Brooklyn is one of New York's most diverse boroughs. Home to 2.7 million people, over 30% of New York's population lives here, bringing with them an effortlessly cool street style inspired by all of the different cultures you'll find here. In fact, streetwear was born here, and that's what brings me to Fort Greene. So I have lived in New York before, and I've worked here for years. But one of my favorite things is still being able to stumble on new finds, like this boutique, which I think is the epitome of the New York City melting pot. You guys have to see it to come with. This is Marché Rudy, a French Senegalese-inspired boutique and cafe combo. While the food at the cafe is A+, it's the market that has my heart. And owner Nylea Alexander, who is a lover of fashion, travel, and all things vintage, opened up the doors to me today for an exclusive look inside this well-curated Brooklyn staple. Here, Senegalese and New York merge into a one-of-a-kind shop oozing with style and unique glam. Plus, the Marché houses a nail shop and a hair salon. When I say New York has it all, this is precisely what I mean. Marché Rudy showcases local designers, indie and natural beauty products, handmade goods, vintage finds, and a little something for everyone. You're originally from Atlanta?
I grew up in Atlanta. To me, I wanted a more robust kind of urban setting. And New York, for me, felt like it could really solve my kind of fashion itch. I just wanted to see more. And my parents met in New York. They're both from Trinidad, but they met here in New York. So yeah, it just felt like the right kind of next transition for me.
Oh, I love that.
I wanted to experience another place outside of where I had grown up and be able to kind of add a little bit more into my cultural tool belt. Like I said, New York was that natural step.
You've taken your love for culture and your love for fashion and you've put them into one place. And so I'd love to hear what New York did for you in bringing that idea to life.
100% New York, if I had to pick a word to sum it up, is culture. When you step out your door, what you're able to experience in a train ride, on your commute to work, your coworkers all of a sudden are looking different, sounding different, listening to different types of music than maybe what you were listening to growing up, just different types of things. It just adds to that. It's called a melting pot for a reason. So when you're going out to eat and your friend's like, oh, let's eat this kind of food, or I only eat this, or let's try this. You really, even if you aren't looking or setting out with the goal to evolve, which you should be, but if you aren't, it's coming at you along the way. And I think that for me is the relevance and the importance of New York. As an immigrant, what you leave behind and what you get when you come here, the gain and the loss and the gain. And then you think about the children of immigrants and how they grow up, and they have this New York, Harlem, Brooklyn swagger, but they still have those roots. Their mom is still sending them, go to the African store and pick up this spice. And what does that look like when you're listening to hip hop, when you're on your way to get something, a traditional spice or an incense for your mom to do, or your grandma or your dad or whatever. When he's wearing his traditional boo-boo and you love the fabric, how does that come together? And that's that kind of story that we're telling.
You're basically providing a space of comfort of the things that make a community comfortable.
Yes.
And I think that's so beautiful. It's so intentional. You can see it. You can feel it when you're in here. In general, New York has that timelessness when it comes to beauty, when it comes to fashion, when it comes to the immigrant story. That part of it has resonated with everybody here. And so when you think of the glam culture of New York, how would you describe it?
It's a melting pot of culture, glamour, stories, beauty. You clocked me really well. I am a total romantic. I believe in stories. I believe in love stories. I believe in those things. And I think that something about New York is really rich. And I think, my parents met here. There's so much history and just things that really resonate with me here. And everything from my experience of stepping out the door to my first job here, to anyone that I've befriended has led these eyes to where they are, to what I see as beauty, what I appreciate, what I'm able to create is all coming from the experience. And for me, that's...
Now we're off to Sweet Fire Cafe in Williamsburg to meet up with the Brooklyn icon that is Scott Louie. Brooklyn is full of neighborhoods that have impacted fashion and glam. From the Bed-Stuy beauty and barbershops that shaped Black hair culture before it was mainstream, to Dumbo, where the warehouses have become icons as backdrops for music videos and fashion editorials. And Williamsburg, where individuality takes the wheel. Today, Brooklyn creatives like Scott Louie continue to redefine indie fashion on a global stage. You know Scott from VH1's The Impact New York, his social media, his cookbook, and of course, his styling. Having worked with clients like Ryan Destiny, Kalani, and Keke Palmer, we kicked back and talked growing up in New York, the future of styling, and some of our favorite style icons.
Welcome to New York, guys. Is that what the actresses do? Yeah.
Shake it out.
Here we go.
I used to see you use this hashtag all the time.
Yeah.
Fashion needs me.
I didn't lie.
And I really do think that something about it draws me because
Yeah.
I'm like, one, you're an incredible stylist.
Thank you.
Your work speaks for itself.
Thank you.
But then also I think you're like a pop culture person. You're like somebody that's in the space for real.
Yeah.
So when I hear that, I think, yeah, that probably is because you're like, I have a perspective that nobody else is doing, nobody else is seeing.
Right.
Like, can you expand on what the fashion needs me thing is, even how it came about?
I'm just an arrogant little bitch. I'm not gonna lie. I'm arrogant as hell. Okay. Like, when I said, I was like, you know what? Fashion needs me. I started my career very young, very, very young, you know, cutting school to like go out and test. I'm a New Yorker, you know, so I'm like, I know what I want. And it was purely just like, I literally barreled my way into the industry, you know, like my career started because I found Little Kim's assistant on Twitter and I emailed him mood boards and that's how I started working with her.
What?
That was my first celebrity client. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean when I say fashion needs me.
Yeah.
I'm one of one out here.
Do you think it was being the New Yorker in you? Like, do you think it was your upbringing that gave you that level of edge, that level of tenacity? It's not just any rapper. You're like, this is Little Kim.
Right.
This is the queen of the queen. This is, everybody knows her.
That brings me back to what I said, you know, I'm just arrogant. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna like come up with this like, well, I thought of, no, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm just like this New York little Brooklyn boy. I'm like, I know what I wanna do. I wanna bring Little Kim back. I wanna put the best looks. I wanna be the hottest stylist. You know, and I just boost my head with these ideas and get out there and do it.
Bring me back then to your upbringing, to New York. What inspired this arrogance?
I'm a child of the hair salon. I'm at the hair salon all day, every Saturday, like from sunup to sundown.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in the corner reading all the magazines, looking through all the hair books. You know, like this is the things that are like filling me as a kid.
Yeah.
And then it's New York. My mom worked in Manhattan. She worked across the street from FIT.
Yeah.
You know, so every day it's the hustle and bustle. It's the beauty. It's the energy of the city. And then I'm a child who loved the television. So I'm watching The Girlfriends, The Parkers, all of those shows that like have so much attitude and emphasis. I have older cousins who love music videos, all of hip hop culture. So all of those things rounded me out. All of those things brought me here.
You got to see the makings of glam. You got to see glam in its polished form in music videos and editorial.
It made me the bitch I am today. in short, it gave me all of the tools necessary. You know, I was fascinated. I was a curious kid.
Yeah.
You know, I saw so many things and was raised very quickly because I'm also my mom's physical handbag. I'm her handbag. So everything that she's experiencing, everything she's doing, I'm with there. I'm right there with her. Like you see me, you see her.
Yes.
You know, you see my older cousins, you see me.
Yeah.
I want to know it all.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, it's my time. Let me get out there. By the time I was 14, 15, I might as well have been 32.
People don't realize how innovative you have to be and how savvy you have to be to get idea, client, whole thing together. Because you're not only just talking about like, oh, I reached out to an actress and just essentially said that I could style her. You created an opportunity.
I really started styling at 15, like testing before I landed Little Kim as a client. And I then was working with Maya, the singer Maya, and I went back to my roots. I started testing again and really just creating. Reach out, like, I'm like a telemarketer. You know what I'm saying? At this point, like, I'm like, okay, who's new and coming up? Like, reach out, find the publicist, who's working with this, find the manager, reach out, try to get as direct to the client without having to like go through all the channels.
Yes. I almost don't even want to reduce it to just calling it hustle because it's creativity.
Yeah.
It is storytelling. It is innovation. It is also tenacity because you're like, I have a dream and I know my place already. It's all of that combined into one. That's what made you say, let me call this one because there's this thing. Let me reach out to this person because there's this opportunity. Right. Like these ideas came to you so effortlessly because this is already who you would be.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't know if this is my brain. I'm like, how did you get here? You know, like I think about me as like this young tender kid. My mom sometimes doesn't even know what the hell I do. She's like, this is a very ordained life. This is not mine. I'm just a shell.
Oh,
like,
wow.
This is God.
Do you think that being a New Yorker is also a part of that creativity for you?
1000%. New York gives you that grit. I mean, New York is the reason why I was like not scared to like, you know, get on Craigslist and say, hey, you know, any photographers want to shoot? I'm trying to build my book. I could have been in a back of a trunk, but that's New York for you. It's just like, I'm not scared of nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not scared of anybody.
Yeah.
So.
How do you think that you bring your New York attitude, your New York sensibilities, how do you think that they show up with you globally? Because you do get to travel the world. You do still get to experience all these really great things in different parts of the world, in different cities. But at your core, like you are a New Yorker.
I'm loud. You know, in short, I'm loud and I'm loud about what I do. it's like, yeah, I'm a stylist, but like now everything's off of my Instagram. We have a new Instagram. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I'm Scot Louie, the brand. There's Fashion Needs Me, where I style my clients. There's Dinner Plus, where I sell my book and my spices. It's like, I have the ability to do everything, and that's the New York in me.
I think what's been fascinating while we've been doing this episode and while we've just been going around the city is really understanding and learning the way that the diversity of New York truly inspires the artist, the creativity of the artist. You know, hearing like your family comes from Jamaica, you're here in New York. How would you say like the diversity, the immigrant story, the kid of immigrants, how has all of that almost manifested itself in you?
Like you said, immigrants, you know, they work hard. They've always worked hard. There's no time to loaf, as I say. There's no time to loaf. You got to do things, you know what I'm saying? So that has kind of propelled me into all of these avenues. My mom's lived 100 lives. People tell me all the time, it's like, wow, you're so young, you've lived so many lives. I'm like, oh, girl, you have no idea. You have no idea, but I'm just an extension of their story. I'm an extension of a long lineage, long line.
New York has that. Like, you feel that in everything. Like, it's not just you. It's like all these people have to kind of just work together every single day. Different backgrounds, different reasons why they came here, but every single person has to make this city move.
Yeah.
I want to talk too then about glam in general. How do you define glam?
It's a double-edged sword. You know, it is beautiful once it's done, but it is hard to get there. It's rewarding and extremely challenging.
What makes it so challenging in terms of, like you said, it's hard to get there for somebody who doesn't get to see the sweat and the grit and the stress and the last minute change and we can't use this because like, what does that look like?
I feel like how it starts is you're begging for an opportunity to get in the room, then you get in the room and you're like, fuck, do I really want to be here?
This room is tight.
Like, we all came here with one goal, trying to achieve this one specific thing and compete.
Yes.
At times.
Yeah.
And there's often a lot of opinions at times, and then my arrogance clicks in because I'm like, wait, hold it. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm the only stylist in the room.
I was gonna say, do you feel like the stylist ultimately gets the final say on the entire glam process?
It's funny because no one really makes a move without calling the stylist.
Yeah.
You know, the client doesn't make a move without calling the stylist. It's like, okay, what are we wearing? Because I need to know how my makeup needs to be done, how my hair needs to be done. But at the same time, it depends on your client too, because there are times where the client wants to have the final say, but they don't know what the hell they want. That's the long and short of it, is that this is a job. This is a profession.
Yes.
You know, I'm not just here to deliver you clothing.
Yeah.
I am here to help you hone your image and tell an overarching story.
Yes. To be an architect of your look.
Yeah. I say it's a portfolio. Each look we are just building, we're laying foundation and building a house.
Yes. But it really is that.
Yes.
I think often people think of styling or even fashion as like, it's gotta be this big out of the box, eccentric, crazy thing. They're gonna be pulling clothes I've never seen before, man. And you're like, no, it is building a story that you can look back on and be like, yes, I'm proud of this. I understand where this took me from here to here. Like it has so much more strategy.
Yes. It's cinema, it's film.
Yeah.
It's how you're seeing.
Yeah. How would you describe the glam culture of New York?
The glam culture of New York is very aspirational. The glam here is very different than the glam in LA or anywhere else, to be honest. In New York, we really do lean on wanting to be the best and wanting to be the baddest, you know what I'm saying? And wanting to push the envelope and wanting to be irreverent and outlandish. I say it all the time, even though glam is a big part of it, the talent just need the opportunities.
Yes.
That's it. That's it. Because when we are given the opportunity, everybody shows up.
Yeah.
Because everybody's waiting for it.
What's something you want to see for the future in terms of styling, in terms of fashion, in terms of glam in general?
I would like to see the girls wear more clothing.
Okay.
I think we are leaning very heavily on sex appeal. There's not a lot of fantasy left in fashion, to be honest. When we got into this minimalism, quiet luxury, which I appreciate it. I appreciate all of the ebbs and flows and layers of fashion, but I really do want to see some fantasy again. I want storytelling again.
When you see that whole thing come together, I'm a true beauty enthusiast. I'm a true fashion enthusiast. I truly love the people behind the making.
We need more people like you.
Thank you. This was exciting for me.
Me too.
I think that you do incredible work. I genuinely do. Like, I really think you're like super talented.
Thank you.
And so, yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate being seen.
Yes!
You know what I'm saying? By someone who gets it.
I could spend weeks exploring all New York City has to offer, but for our final stop this time around, we're headed to the Lower East Side. This enclave in Lower Manhattan is known for its bohemian chic style, murals, and nightlife that fuel experimental fashion and beauty. Grunge, punk rock, and glam rebellion were born here. This magnetic neighborhood has long been a haven for artists, musicians, and creatives. And that brings us to the East Village for a photographic nightcap. Do people try to buy that?
I don't know about that.
In every city, I want to take you a little off the beaten path and introduce you to something you may not expect. While in New York, I stumbled upon this fascinating gem of a gallery, the 4th Street Gallery, where owner and photographer Alex Harsley gave me an inside look into his work and his mind. Having photographed New Yorkers for over 50 years. If anyone has seen the style and culture of New York evolve, it's him.
I came here back in 1971, 73, finally opened the gallery up. And to me, it was just an interim space, but I'm still here. So this has become, in a way, a very small mini museum of history. Lots of documentation in the who's who.
Image I really want to start talking about is this Uptown one. That's when you were embarking on building a portfolio for fashion?
I was introduced to a model, and she said, "You do photographs?" And I said, "Yes, I do," with no idea of how to do it. I had an idea in terms of my mind when I looked at her that she would fit really well in this different scenes that I had set up in my mind. So one of the scenes was 47th Street with a sign saying Uptown. So I had her pose beneath that sign.
I love.
And that was the opening part of the portfolio. From there, we went into different type of outfits that she was going to wear in terms of the settings.
So this was kind of you embarking on glam in a way,
Yes,
on shooting
yes.
more glamorous style.
Right. And there were specific magazines that people went to in terms of understanding what was going to be presented further down the line.
Yeah.
And whether or not they want to get involved in getting that fashion before it came out on the market. So mostly all the publications did have an issue in an area dealing with fashion. And they had a very, I must say, deep following in terms of fashion, going all the way from Essence magazines across the board from there. People felt a little bit more freer in terms of the kind of way they wanted to look. So more women began to look at advanced fashion outside of the contemporary fashion that was presented in different stores. And mostly every woman wanted to be a model back then. Okay. And some had the specific profile and the physique in order to go in terms of fashion they wanted to present.
Yep.
But fashion went across the board in terms of individuals and what they would really like. So I have always focused in on that more so than anything else. A visual vision in terms of representing something that people really like to do, mainly get dressed up.
And so would you say then that this was the glam at that time? Like this was how you presented being glamorous, was essentially the parties or church on Sundays or Easter was how you kind of got to show up as your most glamorous self?
Right, it was a culture.
And then how was that for you then as a photographer? Were you inspired by that? Did you find yourself shooting more?
It was my job essentially to publicize that.
Yes.
So I went to these different events, took the photographs, and wind up in the newspaper showing this is what happened at that event.
What did you discover when you were capturing beauty and fashion?
That I have an eye for it.
Okay. If you were to define glam, how would you define it? Especially as somebody who's seen it evolve.
It's more about feelings. Mainly how those feelings are expressed. To me, that's glamour.
Do you have like a favorite image that you would say represents glamour, even of New York, of a certain time, a certain era?
People on the way up.
How did New York inspire your artistry?
Throughout my life, since I was a kid, people always were giving me things. And somebody gave me photography. And most of the things that people give me, I have to figure out how to use them. So when I got photography, I had to figure out what is it all about. And to this very day, I'm still studying it.
Do you think that New York is almost the hub for this kind of art.
Well, New York is it.
Yeah.
You can't get beyond New York. New York is the overall conversation when it comes to fashions. It sets the trend.
Why do you think that is?
It's the people that come here to do that. When people come here, they emerge into that and they can become that. And there's no room at the bottom, there's no room at the top, but somehow or another people find room into the little crevices, etc., and grow like a wild plant.
So much of your imagery in here is the people.
They come here and get involved in the whole thing of New York.
Yeah.
And New York is an ego in itself. That's where I began.
Okay.
I'm the document through all of that. To me, I'm like an immigrant, constantly exploring what I haven't really seen yet.
What do you want somebody to take out of your work?
That I am it. Okay. I worked very hard at being that person rather than trying to be a celebrity. You don't see me in museums and major shows because I've been working at basic creating content and bringing it up and putting it on the wall here. It's nice having a show around people that know who I am and to let them know that, you know, this is what I've achieved.
Yeah. What's your favorite image in here?
You.
I'll take it! You have a picture of Muhammad Ali in here, so I'll take that. New York glam is bold. Inspiration is everywhere. And if we've learned anything, it's that every borough has its own unique style. What was your favorite? Personally, Brooklyn has my heart. But this place is magic. It's where you can be free in your style and come into who you really are as an artist and a glamazon like myself. It's been fun, and I had a blast catching up with old friends and new ones. But now we must say goodbye to this big glamorous apple. So, where should I head off to next?
Do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me. Do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that I wanna go and I wanna know? Do you wanna follow? Do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me.
What you think?